Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to this amazing, not so amazing, but quite a fascinating game played between Oleg Kuruchin and me, of course. So let's not so much that further ado bullshit and all. Let's start the game. Okay, so Oleg with the white pieces and me with the black pieces. Oleg started with d4. I replied with e5, basically going for the Italian game. He replied with knight to f3. I replied knight to c6, like that Italian game, like I said. He went knight c3. I went d6, basically given attack here. That's what I play usually. Knight, bishop to b5, bishop to g4. He gives a check. I have to take it, don't have any other option. B takes c6. He castles. Knight to f6. h3. Bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, bishop e7, d3, a6, bishop g5, c5, knight to d5. Although it was a blender made by him, but as you know, I am not such a grandmaster and all. So I just took it, which was probably a mistake. There wasn't any mistake because I was getting this bishop for free. So he first took it, I took it, then he took my knight, he takes d5, then I castled, short castle. Usually I do this way, but didn't have any option because this portion was on the board was ruined already. So queen to g4, rook a b8, b3, g6, queen to a4, rook b6, c4, e4, pushing this pawn forward and all, like taking this and this. Then a3, e takes d3, rook to a d1, queen e4, rook fe1, d4, b4, takes, and then I take queen to c4, king to a3, queen to a3. Sorry, my bad. Queen takes d5, basically grabbing up the pawns. Then rook to d3, rook takes d3, queen b5, rook de3, then queen b4, and then queen a1. Basically his idea was to mate him me like this and all future events, but no, it was quite silly, but it didn't work like this. f6, the rook to e8, basically asking me to exchange. Then king to f7, rook h8, king g7, rook c8, queen to b1 check, basically asking for a trade. Then rook to b1 check, king h2, rook c1, protecting this pawn. King rook to a8, rook a1, rook d8, a5, d7 check, rook d7 check, king h6, rook takes c7, a4, basically trying to push this pawn forward. Then rook d1, rook a7, rook d4, rook a5, d5, then king to g3, basically trying to attack my rook here. Then rook takes d5, a3, rook d1, a2. Basically I just what I did was just push this pawn that somewhere I will get my queen back. Rook a1, rook a4, then king f3, king h2, king e3, king g5, king d3, king f4, king c3, and then I put my rook forward, back, even keeping that diagonal only to protect this pawn. So king b3, king e4, trying to go like this, this, and grab this pawns. There, so he asked for a rook exchange, and I accepted it because there was nothing much my rook was doing. Even protecting, I know it was doing it, but anyway. King d3, king b1, king e2, f4, king f2, g4, king g3, f5, g takes f5, g takes f5, king takes x3, king c1, and this pawn was already gone because this king was far far away from this square. So king d1, king f5, king e1, and then I just pushed my all the pawns back here. King f1, king g4, king g1, f5, g2, f4, king g1 back. So he was just trying to get the stalemate, which I obviously never wanted. So king f2, h4, he blocks this pawn, so I started moving his. So king g1, h3, king f2, and with it I was completely winning, but the twist comes here. So I pushed f2. He had not much any choices other than this square. Then king to f3. Basically, I didn't wanted to lose this pawn at all. At any case, even though it was there was not too much any harm here. The king has only two squares, but I still didn't wanted to take risk, which was the biggest mistake. So king to h2, and here comes the biggest mistake I ever done. I think I've done many mistakes, but this was the worst one, which made me pretty much angry. And that was pawn f1 to queen. And this was the worst mistake, which resulted in a draw by stalemate actually. So I was pretty much angry. I mean, the frustration there was, I can't even tell you. So anyway, can you find this winning move here? While I give you a couple of seconds. Okay, so the move was pawn becomes this rook, which obviously had the best move here and the winning move and a mating move. So king has no other choices. He goes here and it's a checkmate. I was just few steps before, like it was just mating two, which I missed. And honestly, I'm pretty much angry about it. Like I just messed my mind. I can't tell how much pissed I am right now. Okay, so anyway, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't already, and please do share this. I will be doing so pretty much more reviews like this, game reviews like this, and if you have time, then please watch few of the other reviewing videos of mine. Okay, so thank you and goodbye.